Hi, Dave Jones here again. For this lesson we're going to look at a sort of solo blues type thing that you can play on an acoustic guitar, you can play on an electric guitar, very similar to anything you hear in any self-respecting sort of Budweiser type advert. There's a PDF up on the website of a few suggested licks that you can use in this and the intro and the rhythm and everything of this particular piece of music. I'm not necessarily strictly going to adhere to that PDF. That's just a suggestion. What I'll do is I'll play you through the intro and the rhythm and stick a few fills in there and show you roughly how it's going. But you can literally make this up as you go along. That's the whole point of the lesson and the exercise, is to play a bar of rhythm followed by a bar of some lead licks from the open E blues scale, which I'll go through with you in the close-up if you don't already know it. But the scale is up on the website. So what I'll do is I'll get on with it, and then I'll do a close-up and show you any little bits that need to be shown at close-up. Okay, so I'll take you through it very slowly, and I won't play that like, for ages. I'll just show you the basic idea, and then I'll do your close-up. Here we go. That's the sort of the basic idea of it, and I'll just show you what's going on with a bit of a close-up there. Okay, so here we go with a little close-up of a sort of typical type blues intro that will fit with that sort of thing. What I'm doing now is I'm holding the G string down at the 4th fret, and I'm going to play that note, which is a B note, and then I'm going to play the high E string, and then the B note, like the G string at the 4th fret again. So it's got triplet rhythm. It goes ba ba ba, and then I'm going to move my finger to the 3rd fret, and I'm going to do the same thing. G string, high E string, G string. And then move it to the 2nd fret and do the same thing. So it's G string, high E string, G string. And then at the 1st fret on the G string, just play it once, and then I'm going to walk in on the A string, 0, 1, 2. You could equally do that with a finger on the high E string. Same thing, but what I'm doing now is I'm holding the G and high E strings down at the same time, and I'm playing exactly the same rhythm as before, like a triplet rhythm from the 4th fret. We're going to go, and then back one again, and then just 1 on the G string, and then 0, 1, 2 on the A string. They're typical sort of little blues intro turnaround type ideas that you can play at the beginning and the end of a blues piece, just to give you an idea. Then what we've got is the rhythm part. Now the rhythm part, what I'm doing is I'm actually playing a power chord, and I'm damping. There's some lessons up on damping, but it means resting the palm of your hand on the bridge of the guitar. I'll show you that in a sec. That's down by the strings. And what I'm doing is I'm playing the open E string and the 2nd fret of the A string at the same time. You should get that sound. And I'm playing that for 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. I'm playing that for. So I'm holding down the 2nd fret of the A string, playing the open E string, and I'm playing 1 and 2 and 3. And then what I'm doing then is I'm coming down to the D and G strings and playing them open, both the same strings at the same time, and then I'm playing the 2nd fret of the same strings, D and G, and then open again. So I'm using 2 fingers in the video there at the close-up, but in the actual thing I'll probably use 1 finger, whichever feels comfortable. There's no right and wrong about this. If you're a relative novice player, you probably want to use both fingers. If you're slightly more advanced, and you can get it with 1, I'm just covering those 2 strings. So the rhythm, and then I'm coming back to this just to finish it off. So the rhythm of the if you like, the rhythm playing bars is going up here on the E and A. It's going 1 and 2 and 3, and then I'm going and 4 and 1 to start you on the next bar. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then what we're doing is we're putting a little fill in out of the E blues scale any of the notes will fit in any order. The idea is that, like say, if you print the PDF off, there's a few sort of standard, very basic lead ideas there for you, but you can make them up as you go along. The secret is trying to get back to the rhythm part at the right place. So I'll just show you the idea. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, etc. And what I'll do now is I'll just show you a close-up of the E blues scale. You can play this over, I've got it in two open scale shapes, a 1-octave shape and a 2-octave shape on the website. So I'll show you the 1-octave shape first. It starts on the D string at the 2nd fret, then it moves down to the open G string, then 2nd fret of the G string, then 3rd fret of the G string, open B string, and then 3rd fret of the B string, and then open high E string. And the idea is, first of all, you must be able to play it ascending and back down again without repeating the top notes, probably favourite. And the other, if you're slightly more advanced, we've got a 2-octave open E blues scale up on the site as well. That starts on the thick E string, open thick E string, 3rd fret of the thick E string, open 1st, 2nd on the E string, A string, open 2nd on the D string, and then it follows the same as the other one. O, 2, 3 on the G, O, 3 on the B, O on the high E. So that's the scale, and like I say, any of the notes out of that scale will work in the spaces. The idea is to experiment with it and just see how you get on with it. The other thing to mention is, when practicing the scale, just play up to the open high E string, but when doing licks, this note here, G note, if you can play it on the thick E string, you can play it on the thin E string as well, so it'll work in licks. But it's nice if you can, when you're practicing the scale, just to get your ears used to the sound of it, just to play the scale up to the same root note, in other words the high open E string, and back down again without repeating it. Yeah, right, like I say, any of the notes from the blues scale will fit. It's up to you to sort of experiment with them and try and tap your foot when you're playing so you get back in to the rhythm part in the right place. So you've got the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, etc. You can be as creative with these licks as you want. Don't forget, you can play one note many times. It doesn't need to be. You can play 2 notes, called a double stop. It's up to you to sort of experiment, mess about, listen to some sort of solo acoustic type blues, and you sort of get an idea for the licks that work. Like I say, all the notes will work, but you know, you'll get an idea of what ones sound best. You can repeat ideas, you can, like I say, repeat the same note many times, and just generally mess about with it and see what happens. All the open strings are in tune, as I just showed you with the scale, or with E blues. So even if you're not too careful about what notes. Now I hit some strings then that well, I didn't really want to. I was just deliberately sort of flamming around with my hand, and I wasn't hitting only the string that I was playing with this finger, but it still works because all the strings are in tune with the open E blues scale. So see how you get on with it. Have a little practice. Learn if you're a beginner, learn the 1-octave E blues scale first and use that. If you're more advanced, learn the 2-octave E blues scale and use that. And I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again sometime.